Welcome to Jamaican Young Police Channel. We're an experienced detective of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. It's about to educate the audience with facts and not propaganda for the government and the criminals, elected or not. And a matter of fact, the thieving police officers too. Today is Friday, July 23rd, 2021 at about 10:42 p.m. Congratulations to Sir P at Politics Watts and the other brethren at On the Spot Media. These men are doing a beautiful job for the Jamaican people by exposing the corruption that is going on in Jamaica. The people on the island live like hostages in various communities, and the government does not want to do anything about it, because if they do, they will lose the next general election. Jamaican people on the whole are sympathetic to criminals who are killing unarmed civilians, especially children. Some of the women who are getting dust out have blood on their hands, just like their boyfriends, brothers, husbands, sons, and distant relative. So it's the circle of life that's coming around. We have seen lots of gun crimes, and guess what? Most Jamaican people, especially those who live in rural Jamaica, we call them the country bunkers back in the days, do not know the root, genesis, and the leading players to this pandemic that has become an endemic. They won't tell you that in our culture, to speak the truth, they call you an informer, which means that you must be conned, or you must get conned to your skin. Yeah. The perpetrator who give you the con is the hero for dusting out the informers, because they won't get the chance to report anything to the police or what they know is happening in the communities. I want you to observe this video keenly. If not, watch it twice. Then I am going to elaborate on the video, on the people in the video. Watch, and then I'll get back to you. Yeah, now that you have watched the video, do you know who is some of these people in the video? They are former police officers in the Jamaican Constabulary Force and its auxiliaries. Yes, these are some of our men and women who have helped contribute to the Jamaican gold culture and responsible for transporting and issuing guns in most PNP communities in the 1970s. The gun culture started in the 1970s when Jamaica had the most charismatic politician named Michael Manley, who changed the country trajectory because he wanted to be the leader for life like the late Fidel Castro. Yes, Michael Manley wanted to be the leader for life. He wanted to be leader for life for Jamaica. He did not want to no challenge or any dissent from anyone. So he wanted to be like the late Fidel Castro. Yes, some of our men who have helped to contribute to the Jamaican gun culture and responsible for transporting and issuing guns in most PNP communities in the 1970s. How do you know that, Chris? Well, Chris was born and raised in Jonestown, Kingston 12. Yeah, I was born in Jonestown. I didn't born at Jubilee like my siblings, where my parents and several family members lived for decades. Decades we live in a Jonestown. You understand? Even before Jungle built up on the Cashamaka and all them things there, before no Calismith Drive. You understand? In 1976, when I was a little boy walking along Price Street, Jonestown, Kingston 12, and going towards Maya Street, to be exact, 51 Maya Street, where the late Gerald Levy, otherwise known as Bogle, was born and raised at 51 Maya Street. And reaching the corner of Love Street beside Jonestown Primary, I saw a police officer whom I only knew as Big Youth. He was a countryman and a member of the late Member of Parliament, Tony Spalding outfit. He was issuing various firearms to young men from the community to kill people from Rima, whom they claimed are enemies of the struggle. The struggle to this day, I still don't understand the validity of such rhetoric. Still, it's a mantra and a marketing tool to get the young men riled up and kill people. Young men like George Pang, otherwise called Power Man, the so-called leader of Bibbo Posse, are based at the corner of Price Street and Love Street, Jonestown, Kingston 12. The late Anthony Tingle, otherwise known as General Starkey, William Moore, otherwise called Willie Agat, a gunman whom I just know his name as Shabba, Mr. Buff's son, Boy Blue from 30 Pencil Street, Jonestown, Kingston 12, and Vincent Morris, otherwise called Spurline. Yes, Vincent Morris, otherwise called Spurline, from Peachtree Grove, St. Mary, who is my late mother's schoolmate, and many more men received guns from Big Youth, the police officer. Big Youth went on an operation to Big Lane, Central Village, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Listen, Big Youth, the police officer, went on an operation to Big Lane, Central Village, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Nah, it did not go there as a police officer because he went with gunmen from Jonestown, Kingston 12. They killed a JLP Dan, and on their way from the crime scene, the same men from Jonestown, Kingston 12 killed the policeman Big Youth because they say that the big man said that Big Youth knew too much, so they have to dust him out. A policeman's job was to protect the people of Jamaica, was fighting a political war for the PNP by killing people from the opposing side, which is wrong. A police job, you're supposed to be impartial But Big Youth was a political thug. Most of these people, police officers, them who come from country, they are thugs, PMP thugs, most of them. I had never liked police officers like Big Youth and others because they were criminals in uniform. And to this day, I detest and have a disdain for these kind of police officers. It is unusual for someone from a community to tell the truth about what happened because they will be called traitors, informers, snitch, rats, and you must get canned and them to dust you out. But these guns were used to kill Jamaicans with who these men went to school. So the same gunmen them, that Big Youth issue gun to, Shabba and all of those guys, Skelly, all of them went to school together, but they give them gun and they kill people, all because of politics. Remember that about 90% of the Kingston metropolitan areas are PMP communities. And I am from one of them, which is Johnson. And if you go back to these days of the 1970s, 99.7% of the wanted men in Jamaica were for one of these enclaves. Meaning that you have to call it 100% of the wanted men in Jamaica back then were PMP gunmen. You understand? That's what I used to see in the Star and the Gleaner. Because it used to be in the Star, the front page where you see the wanted men them. And I give a snip of it. You understand? These men live on people's land without their permission and consent, squatting, and sometimes they kill the owners and take over the place. That is how they behave then. And they still behave now. You understand? And they need to change the law with the squatting thing about people living on your land for 10 years and then is yours. They need to stop that. You understand what I'm saying? You work and buy your thing. If you don't want to educate yourself and make your life better so you can feed on your kids, you're not supposed to come parasite on people for getting nothing, you understand? That I think I don't like. I don't like parasites, Rasta. You understand? And these people both squatting and poor. Everybody poor and fight them way up. But these people, they want it to be given to them. You understand? Most of these police officers who are putting up their fists in the air are using a political sign. Just like where they have a gang and the gang have its sign. Yeah, putting your fist up in the air is a political sign. That they are members who are affiliated with the PMP party. And guess what? A majority of them, if not all, are country bunkers. They are all country boys who come to town and become. So I best thing that because most of the police them used to work at town in the city. They are not Kingstonian, country them come from. Most of Kingstonian them send them go country go work. Because when I graduate from the police training school, them send me go Clarendon. You understand? You have to be lucky or know somebody to end up back in town. I pay country people work at town as police. You understand? And most of them after a while them become thief. You understand? So a majority of them who join the police force and help destroy Jamaica by issuing guns, firearms to the young men of these impoverished communities in the city. In those days, country people hated people from Kingston. And even my late grandfather did not want any of his grandchildren to stay in the country when the killings were getting worse daily. I cannot tell you any story about what happened in the other Kingston metropolitan areas. Some of my family members live in East Kingston, Burger Gully, Nagaga Gully, Warwicker Hill, Petora Road, Kingston 13, Brook Valley, that are doing the park, Cockburn Pen, Kingston level, and other places. The police officers with their fists in the air, the police officer then, in the 1970s, to them, the United States of America as the great Satan, and Cuba and Russia, two communist countries, as the motherland. And they wanted Jamaica to be like Cuba and Russia. But guess what? After the destruction of Jamaica of the 70s and to the 1980s, when the JLP came to power, They choose America to have a better life. None of them, not one, a single one of them went to Cuba or Russia to live because they want to live in a society where they can express themselves. But they didn't want Jamaican people to have that, You understand? But what they wanted for their fellow Jamaican was to live in a society where your thoughts and dissent must be kept to yourself. And the state control everything, like what is happening in Cuba today. What you saw over the weekend with the people in Cuba demonstrating for their rights, these men are women, are not living in Russia or Cuba, but the country of the great Satan. Yes, man. These same people, police officer who said I'm a PMP and Michael Manley, Prime Minister for life, President for life, and them want the Cuba and the Russia political system in Jamaica. None of them went there and live. You understand? They migrate to America. That's all these people are. They are not living in Russia or Cuba. Then one must ask, why these PMP police officers wanted their fellow Jamaican to live in a society with no freedom of speech and then immigrate to the country that is a promoter of the same? That boggles the mind, because these are the people who claim that America is a great Satan, but yet still after they destroy Jamaica with the guns, issue guns to young men, and some of the same police, after a while, the same one, they kill the same men, because they and these young men, used to go on operation and kill people, So what the same police used to do, they would come and pick them up, and then kill them, because the men would have the gun on them, and they claim it's shootout. So you understand, because the police know them, and you understand, because they used to take these young men and an operation with them and kill other people who's from the next side. That's what used to happen. So that is what you call hypocrisy to the highest level. And it's not even funny. Of all the PMP gunmen from the day I saw collecting guns from Big Youth, only 2 of them are alive today. George Pang and Vincent Morris, otherwise called Spurline, the man with the finan who live in Connecticut, United States of America. So the destruction of Jamaica and the importation of guns into these communities were done by police officers on behalf of their political party, the PMP, to kill people from Rima because they would not vote for the PMP party. I wonder how these men feel today when they watch or read the news out of Jamaica that gunmen tell an old lady to kneel on the ground and then shot her and make her bite the dust. I wonder if these police officers have any soul, how they feel to know that they have contributed to such an environment, because they're the one that started it, because they wanted their dear leader, Michael Manley, to continue to stay in power. Most people, if you cannot read and think for yourself, you're going to be like an organic robot. As for me, the reason why I don't support politician or what Michael Manley did in the 70s to my community, because when you're giving somebody an illegal firearm to kill another person because they do not support your policies or your party, that is wrong. That is me. Because you're not killing someone who is from another country. You're killing someone who have the same skin color like you. And most of them, they are low IQ people, illiterate, super illiterate. Because most of them couldn't read. You understand? So you're killing your own Jamaican people. And for what? All you're getting is a little money, and you're killing people. And it's the same Jamaican people you're killing. So when people illiterate, So I've worked with a lot of police officers. You understand? And most of them, as I said before, most of them, they are all PMP supporters. And guess what? Most of them come from country. And some of them, I don't know how they join the police force because they're not smart. You understand what I'm saying? They're not bright. I was a police officer, but never affiliated with any political party, because I have seen what the PMP party, the PMP government, under Michael Manley has done to my peaceful community of Jonestown, Kingston 12, which has become a dump, and an even that only produce gunmen, criminal-minded people, criminal supporter, criminal propagandists, liars, dishonest people, depraved mind people, super illiterate, anti-police, and criminal lovers. So if you keep the people illiterate, you control your mind. So thank God for my late mother, and then my grandmother that my mother let me live with. Or if not, I would end up just like most of the youths that I grew up with in Jonestown when I was small. You understand? Because illiteracy is bliss, you know. Most of these country people, you know, they don't even. So if you go back now, you know, and look on the history, remember that crime, you know, started in Kingston. If you can think, crime started in Kingston, and count the places in Kingston that is GLP territory or GLP zone, because back in the 70s to 1918, them used to mark right on the wall. This is PMP zone, labor right keep out, and all them time we used to have JOS bus, and I have never been to any community in a town and say GLP zone, PMP keep out. That's all I used to see in my like community, them or the community that we live, and my family, my mother, my father, my mother family them live. PMP zone keep out, all labor right. Me never go anywhere and see no green painting say GLP zone. You know, when I saw that, I went up in my mother country, and never, it's just that the people them in a country and them thing, up in my mother country and them thing there, boy them to them bust off for them era and them thing there. Them not like this, them not like the socialist thing, they not like the beggy thing and all them. Them love the hard work, yeah, and education. Country people, yeah, the people them from Jonestown, them super illiterate and them thing there. So what is happening down there right now? You have to understand, it's police officers from the 1970s contribute to what is happening. Most of these police, the reason why they migrate, some of them, if they were still there after when the GLP government took all of the government, some of them would end up in prison because they were criminals, you understand? Because they were committing crimes for the PMP party and the PMP government. Licky, corrupt police. Most of them country people. Me a Kingstonian, and my morals higher than these people. No PMP and nobody couldn't get me to do anything like that to my fellow Jamaican in the name of politics. You mad? Anyway, that's it. This is not like a full-time job for me or anything. I just tell you what I have known, and it's just facts. Thanks for watching the Jamaican Young Police channel, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Have yourself a nice day, and more love, respect.